That's what happens when you start and your mic is muted. Who does that? But anyway, yeah, happy days. Not late, shut your faces. And I've updated my internet, so we done a quick reboot, but it's still not kicking in. So yeah, you will not believe how much I'm paying a month now for my blooming broadband, but I had to upgrade it. It had to be done, geez. It was done this morning. We thought it'd be done in 4 hours, and no. So we just rebooted the internet to make sure we get half decent signal. You know what I'm saying, geez? How you doing, Jake?
Geese, I know what you're saying. How are you?
I'm all good. I was hoping the internet would have been upgraded by now, but it's not.
Well, it looks a lot smoother today.
So we just turned it off and turned it on again to like reboot it to then test it, but it's still normal. But where it's a new connection, I think it's just better. So
Yeah, I think it's
happy day.
more stable. It's done its job.
I'm not stable. Broadband is, but I'm not, geese. Oh, but yes, I was just catching up. I didn't see much, but I was just watching Young Bob on Dan Wootton earlier. I had to catch up.
Yes. What did you think of him?
Oh, mate, he's like, he could just turn around. He's just like, like, give me evidence. I love it when he says that. Give me evidence. And then Fahim was like, but what? So they're just people on the social media then with accounts like I am then. What, Rupert Lowe, Nigel Farage, and she looked an idiot. That American woman ain't got a clue what she's there for.
I don't remember.
But Young Bob.
Was she actually there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like, what? But yeah, Young Bob, he's very knowledgeable, isn't he? See, it'd be better than what I would be there because, like, I don't have the knowledge to back it up. Do you know what I mean? With some of the stuff he says, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I don't think I would have thought of saying that, but that's valid, mate.
What if we turned that question around and said, what if it wasn't so much the case that he was knowledgeable, it was the fact that they were so lacking in knowledge?
Yeah, that too. They did make him look more intelligent. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I actually, to be honest, you've got something ready. I actually don't mind Fahima, to be honest. I think if you can endure the screeching, I think she actually is playing a character, because you could see right near the end, she was actually laughing about things. So I had more time for her once I saw that side of her.
I don't get me wrong. She's a Muslim, so she supports that and defends it, and I don't like that.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to stand for the woman at any point in time, but it did change slightly about her.
I mean, she gets mullered, and I mean mullered, like a yogurt mullered. Every single time she's on, no matter where she is, she gets absolutely owned. And she keeps coming back like a boomerang. So I can respect that because it's good, because everyone can see how bad Islam is. So that's good.
I mean, she took a real whipping just last night on this very channel here.
Yep. And it felt good. I felt really hard. Yeah, picking on a girl. But
yeah, good. I'm glad you're here, Slim, because it's your idea.
Yeah, and it will be the first of many. Of course it will. How you doing, Mad Monkey Seeds? Whoever thought, a mad monkey had come from a seed? Who had ever thought that, eh? Oh, the Green Witch. Doing her spells last night, turning everyone green.
Yeah.
Hope you're well, Ollie. Ollie, Ollie, Ollie. Ollie. Evening, early birds. It's not early birds, is it, mate? 7 o'clock. Come on, Monty. Montgomery Burns. Excellent. The early bird catches a worm. Not if it doesn't want a worm, it doesn't, because it's not hungry. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. What point does late turn? Is there a point, an actual fixed point when it becomes early? Because somebody's early is not the same early as somebody else's.
Yeah, I know. You got to get up for work at 4 o'clock. That's early. I get up at like 8. That's still early.
Exactly. It's a contextual question.
Yeah. But if you've been working late and you get home at 7 in the morning, go to bed and wake up at 2 p.m., you're like, oh my God, it's early.
Yeah, I have work nights as well, so I have done exactly that.
It's mind boggling, isn't it?
It's
So
a very,
sad.
very philosophical question, that one. Thank you for bringing it up, Slim.
Yeah, definitely. I know who Southside is.
Who is it?
He's downstairs. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, right, I see. One of those, is it? One of the offspring, is it? One of the clan. Well, I
Yeah.
hope they do a good job of looking after little Merlin.
Yep. He's got bought a new brush or something. The missus did, so she's out like I was going to say grooming him, but let's not go down. Brushing him,
Early for
brushing
jokes
him.
like that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Hey, Nikki.
Nikki, with your alliterative name. Hello.
Bonjour, la Robert Johnson. How are you, sir? Hope you're well.
Hello, Uncle Bob. Good to see you.
Sup,
All right,
peeps?
Trig.
Paying more than that, geez. I wish it was 34.
Really? I don't pay anywhere near that.
Oh, gone for the full whack, mate. Full on, full fibre, blah, blah, this, that, everything else, singing, dancing. And apparently, we won't even get any lag if we had 80 people connected to the internet. OTT!
Well, I mean, you're taking things seriously, is what I like to see.
Yeah, I'm just sick and tired of all that, the weird swirling and the, oh, mate, it was doing my head in. And being that my son downloads games and does gaming all night and this and that, it's just sensible. If we are ever both doing whatever we're doing, it's not going to be an issue now. Whereas before, he's like, oh, it's going to download. Is dad live? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Speaking of power, you'll be glad to see that the nuclear power station didn't catch fire as of yet. So Suffolk is still. It's only 2 miles away from it, though.
Yeah. Oh, Slim, do you want to come up today with us? I see put the wizard's words link. Like what? I've got a link what I'm talking. I've got a
Are you
link in
playing
my
Zelda
chain that you
again?
can't see. Yeah. What's going on?
No, I think he's trying to impersonate a character from The Legend of Zelda.
Good man. Yep. No matter where you are, people, be sure to mention the wizard's words.
Yes.
I mean, subscribers have been going up. I'm on 6,880 something. So hopefully Sunday we're going to go for the 7,000.
Big 7 coming up.
And if I hit 7,000, then I won't take my top off. So that'd be, happy days.
It will be.
Oh, Ollie sneaked in there twice, look. I just said hello to Ollie. She sneaked in there again, look. Oh, doing her little spells, getting 2 hellos.
Bit witchy, that
Right,
one.
Yeah, but which way is she?
Depends which way you're looking.
Which I'm not going to tell you.
Which is your prerogative.
Which is correct.
Thanks.
That's all right. I'll tell you what. After last night going off on one, we're going to go down that road again. Like, no, stop. When you said thanks, I was like, yeah, thank God for that, because I thought I was going to run out then.
Yeah, you see, I planned ahead there. All scripted, everyone.
That's Ollie's fault for
Took
having
hours.
a name with a witch in it.
I was up at 6 o'clock this morning writing the script for this.
Jenny Selly. Always going to go. I'm going to say Jenny Smelly. I don't know. Jenny Selly.
You can't say that to Juniper.
I know. But every time I see Selly, I'm like, what is it? Oh, double check. Anyway, good evening, Jenny. Hope you're well. Jenny, donate a penny.
Yes, the right side of witchery. That's exactly the side of witchery I like to be on too.
Yes. Right. Right. For Slim, let's do the link. and then we can get on with the show. No one else is to use this link. No one else. I'm going to ignore you. Yes, I am, because this is literally just for Slim purposes. Hence, I put Slim. But once Slim's joined and I can see him, I'll delete the link anyway. There we go. That's the way I roll. I've got a few pages open for a bit of this and that, so, that I can refer to. And I did sort of have a quick look to see what is the latest on it. So I'll tell you, the response I got for Loch Ness was surprising. And then when I done it, the same search, but just changed Loch Ness Monster for Bigfoot, I was really surprised with the result. I was like, oh, okay. Didn't expect that, geez.
What do you think the biggest difference was?
Like, there's actually stuff for Loch Ness Monster. It literally, right? I got quite a bit there that I can go through. How can I say 1 paragraph, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 if I've done that. Maybe 6-ish paragraphs worth.
Yeah.
And when I done it through the power of whatever it's called, Copilot, literally it's a paragraph, but I'd call it half a paragraph because it's like 3.5 lines is all it come up with Bigfoot.
Well,
I was like, what? But I'll show you that later as and when if it pops up. But I thought it'd be worth just seeing up to date info, and it's like,
yeah, I've got a couple of pages here as well, but nothing fancy. Just a few details.
I bet Slim's probably had a fight with a Loch Ness Monster on a Friday or Saturday night out or something.
The Loch Ness Monster.
So he might have even married one. Who knows?
He is definitely. Well, where else does all that food go?
Yeah, that's how he's doing all those pies, isn't it? He's actually feeding Loch Ness Monster. He's not eating it. We knew it. That's why he's so slim.
Yeah.
He's feeding the Loch Ness, right?
But when he expands.
Yeah. I bet there's a few blokes out there thinking, yeah, I married blooming Loch Ness Monster, mate.
Oh, speak of the devil. Good evening, Slimothy.
Can't hear you, mate. You muted yourself.
God. All that time underwater.
Technology. It's like me when I do my big build up and I realise my mic's not on for the first 15 seconds today. Slim is the Loch Ness Monster. Uh-oh.
He is.
That was Triggered that said that, so you can go all Rabsy Nesbitt on him.
Yeah, although I said it first, though.
Oh. No, still can't hear you, mate. Let me just check the mic this end because I can do stuff here. Ban from studio, kick from studio, edit mic settings, echo cancellation. Oh no, it's all yeah, you just turned it up. I saw that.
Sometimes it works if you click out and then come back in again.
But yeah, it's all done, mate. Have you got no? I can see you. I can see you
again.
How weird's that? That's what you call an anticlimax. Can't say that. I sound like Slim's missus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we just pretend we can hear him? Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah. Pretend we can hear him. I think he's like, I'm gonna go and I'm come back.
I'm gonna
go and get me iron brew.
Aye.
Me iron brew. I'm gonna drink me iron brew. It's got like no iron in it. What? It's got no iron in it? What the heck, mate? Like Coca-Cola. Guess what that hasn't got in it?
It used to. It did originally have it.
I drank a fizzy drink and got tan-godded. I got tan-god.
Did you?
I was like, oh, I am Tan God. And then I was told it was Tangoed. I was like, but it says Tangod, mate.
Yeah, it's gold. Yeah,
See what I've done there?
got
That's
an
why I look
apostrophe.
like this. Tangodded.
Yeah. So
The link is still up there, Slim, but you
Uncle
might
Bob
need
won't
it
have a
again.
clue what you just said. Uncle Bob will have no idea what Tango is even about.
Beats and Tapes is in the house. I just put the link again there for Slim and Slim alone. Yep, Tangod. I'll delete that comment now. He's there. Hopefully. Yeah, that's what it says. It's Tangod. And I was like, oh my God. I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I look like Jesus, mate. I've been Tangodded. And look. It's like I've been in the sun. I've got a tan.
Yeah.
Look like God. I was like, oh, that's that orange beverage.
Yeah.
What has it done to me? And
Turned
guess what? It was water.
holy
And
water.
I turned it into Tango.
Wow.
Because obviously, you know, being this day and age, you know, turning anything into wines, oh, you're going to support alcoholism. So
You can't be doing that.
I turned the water into Tango and got Tangodded.
Wow. I mean, I've heard some
Believe it.
stories. That's definitely one of them.
No blasphemy. See what you've done there with the fizzy beverage? Well done, Jenny. Well done. High five. Slim's disappeared, everyone. Look, he's the invisible man. So we're just waiting for him.
He shrunk.
Just make sure it wasn't anything to do with the fact that I look like God and I've done something to him. No, he's all right. Yeah,
So.
I remember that. Tango. What was that the one when they had in the mini as well? And the bloke was like that, and he was like, "Boosh!" and smacked a fish around someone's head.
Yeah. Yes. Now, speaking of people round the head, it's got nothing to do with that. But I looked today to see what the percentage and the number of Muslims was in my council. It was quite interesting, actually. So the percentage of Muslims in East Suffolk is 0.03, which is 249. Now that's 249 too many in my book.
Yeah.
Too many. And I think that we need to take a stand. But what I think it goes to show, though, is that how the spread, as I've said many times, is not equal. Because you could go to somewhere in Leeds, for example, or Bradford, and it will be 80 or 90%.
Yep. Portsmouth.
How many mosques are there? Monkey seeds? There is one, and that is too many.
Right. Let me grab that window and put it on my other screen. Yes, I've got two screens. Oh.
But I should stress that I don't live in a city or a large town. Where I live is very small, very rural, and very near the coast.
Well, did you say Muslim MPs or?
No, the actual number of Muslims.
Oh, Muslim population.
Yeah, so you can just have a look at your local council, and it should tell you.
What did you put? Am I putting Hampshire or Portsmouth?
And then just Muslim population.
Yeah, in what?
And
Hampshire or Portsmouth?
Hampshire would be the equivalent.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, ladies and gents, we're talking.
What is your actual local council called?
I know, Portsmouth City Council.
That might be a better one.
Well, before I change to Portsmouth, ladies and gents, just so you know, approximately 5 population Muslim with higher concentrations in urban areas like Southampton. Southampton has 5,398 Muslims, representing 5.6% of its residents. There you go.
That's Southampton. That's what I mean, though, because if I were to look at, for example, Norwich, which is the only city around here, it would probably be about the same as that. Because what we're seeing, as I've said many times, is the population spread is very unequal. You've got it in the cities. As soon as you go outside of them to the small towns, you get very few migrants at all, because there isn't any work there. There isn't anyone there for them to rob. I mean, there's around here, there's no taxis, there's no takeaway services, so there's nothing here that they could do for work, except for seasonal agricultural work. No,
Bloody
you're
hell.
welcome. You can keep them, son. Keep them. I want to keep here pure.
They're saying that in bloody Southampton. Oh my God, mate.
Mm.
It would only give me 2021. I've managed to get 2024, about 2026. But holy moly, the estimated Muslim proportion of 5.2 to 5.4%. The Muslim population will likely be around 11 to 11,500 people.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is important here that isn't, I haven't mentioned as well, that is worth considering, is the population number is far higher in Hampshire than it will be in East Suffolk. So there's hardly any people live here. So although I can say, yes, there's only 249 here, the population is spread more thinly. But you can already see, though, the trend that they're not moving out as far towards the coast here, but they're probably going to places like Southampton because it's easier to get to from places like London.
Right, are you ready now, Slimmeroony? And I see you up and down and drinking your brew and that. I don't want to just throw you up and go, well, hang on, mate. I was just going to pick me nose. Not saying that you pick your nose. That's a bit like, nautism there.
Yes.
Oh, crap. I can hear you. I heard you laughing. That's a good one. I'm ready for you, mate. I'm going to take you on tonight. Look, I've got it. I'm ready. Got me amber.
I can't drink the stuff. It gives me a right bad stomach.
Aye.
You're not man enough, geese.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I'm not going to do a Scottish accent because I can't do it.
Assassination love it, didn't
they? Robert says a body was found.
That's the thing that I've always with Bigfoot is what, and with Loch Ness Monster, is why have they never found a dead one?
Exactly. Look, I'm gonna bring up. This is how crap it is for Bigfoot. This is the result I got, ladies and gents. That mainstream science remains unconvinced. Peer-reviewed lab analysis of alleged hair samples and DNA re-examinations have repeatedly attributed physical traces to known animals or contaminants, and authors conclude there is no conclusive evidence for a breeding population.
Well, that's quite damning, really, isn't it? Because
that's the end of that, geese.
Covers pretty much every past possible evidence there.
But don't worry, that looks real, mate.
Whoa. That is real.
Me before I've had a shave.
Wow. Is that what Bungle's up to now, then?
Yeah. I think rainbows aiming high. Flying high, whatever.
The Chinese have one, they call it, it actually has a biological name, Gigantopithecus. Sorry, and it is supposed to be real.
Can I get subtitles for that, Slim?
That's easy for you to say. Blooming heck. That's ridiculous.
That is very convincing, though. I mean, I would definitely think that if I saw that, I'd shit myself.
If I'd seen that, I'd be asking him where to go to suit.
Yeah. What, has he got coal on him? Has he got soot, or has he just got a suit?
Oh, dear.
Sorry, Slim.
It looks
For me,
like
these photographs, when you see them, it's the proportions that always give them away. The proportions are so human.
yeah.
They never diverge for the human proportions.
Well, that's something that I think is very much the case with UFO images as well, in that you can't tell the scale from what the perspective of the image. So something can look very big, or it can look very small, or it can look very close, depending on the perspective of the photographer.
But it's not so much the scale and size as the scale and arm and leg length. If you notice that all the simians have very different arm and leg lengths, and they're all quite unique. But almost every Bigfoot you see has exactly the same proportions as the average human male.
Yeah.
They're related.
The gait is wrong as well. You can't impersonate the way that an ape moves.
That's right. We don't have a structure for it.
Yeah.
And it's highly unlikely that a forest dwelling superhuman bear-sized person would move like a grown adult male.
How do you know? Have you ever seen one?
Well, no, I haven't actually seen one, but I don't believe anyone else has actually seen one either.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so either. No. Why do you think it persists then, Slim? Why do people believe in it? That's what interests me more than what it is.
Well, that is actually my interest in these things, that people love myth and legend. That's why I suggested to the Wiz that you have a slot doing it. And I think Freaky Friday was a great idea of yours, that was a great name for it. But people love myth and legend.
Yes.
People believe it and search for it. People sell key rings of the Yeti. People sell key rings of the, whether it's the abominable snowman or the Yeti or the Sasquatch, no matter what you call it or where you live, or the Chinese one, which is Gigantopithecus, which is a real one, apparently. Now, people love these things, but it's like UFOs. People love them without any real evidence. They love a mystery.
Yeah. Some of it, I think, is cultural inheritance as well. So I've mentioned on here before about Black Shuck, the hellhound that roams the wetlands and the water meadows around here. That's something that you can trace the lineage straight back to the Anglo-Saxons. So it's obviously stayed within this area and become very much part of our tradition. And I would imagine that the Loch Ness Monster's probably got some kind of tradition like that associated with it as well, that it would probably come back from the Celtic past.
Well, the Loch Ness Monsters get a heritage all of its own. And apparently, I don't want to go on about it while we're talking about the Yeti, but its origins are actually quite old.
Yeah.
But it was someone famous that first spoke about it, and they gave it an early credibility. But what they actually seen was probably a seal, or in fact, at that time period, a dolphin. Because in the very olden times, as people love to say, dolphins swam up into the Great Glen.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that it was actually a dolphin or a killer whale that was in Loch Ness.
And when was this, Slim?
Well, I'm going to call it up, I'll give you some timelines. The first was St. Columba in 565 AD.
But that was in River Ness, though, wasn't it? Not Loch Ness.
That's right, it was in the river, which makes me wonder about it being a dolphin or a porpoise of some kind, right? Yeah. Now, there's seals come up and down for the sea also, and that still happens to this day.
Yeah.
But there are whales that are known to swim into fresh water, and the geology has shifted and changed in the Great Glen over that time period. Now, you're talking 1,500 years ago, roughly. We're talking rough terms. The river itself could have been a lot deeper and a lot wider. Erosion gradually wears away at rivers, it wears away at the banks and it wears away at the bottom, and they have a tendency to spread out and get shallower. Right, just like river deltas end up shallow and muddied up.
Yeah.
So at that point, it could have been only a couple of feet deeper, and whales would have been able to swim all the way up to the sea. So there is a possibility in 565 that St. Columba seen a porpoise, a killer whale,
Yeah.
a dolphin, some other large marine mammal swimming about.
Didn't know what it was and killed it and thought, aren't I great for doing that?
Well, strangely enough, they didn't kill it. They reported it later on.
Did they? Wow.
Yep. I'm sure they would have killed it if they could have, then they'd have eaten it for lunch.
Definitely. Of course they would have done. But the thing with the loch as well, though, as you mentioning there with the erosion, is that it's an incredibly deep lake. That is something that is quite unusual about it. And I think, obviously, you'll know more than I will.
That's right.
But it's about 700 odd or feet deep or something like that.
Well, it is. It's the second. Loch Morrell's the deepest in Scotland. But Loch Ness is massive. It holds more water than every lake and river in England.
Yeah.
On its own. So its actual volume is huge. The amount of water, I can actually tell you, I've called it up. The surface area is 21.8 square miles. It is 230 metres deep, that's 755 feet. Its length is 36.2 kilometres, that's 22.5 miles. The volume is 1.8 cubic million cubic metres.
Wow.
It's big. Now, did you say that the depth was 200 and something metres there?
The depth is 755 feet.
Yeah.
That makes it the second deepest loch in Scotland.
And for comparison, the North Sea is about 90 metres deep.
That's right. Over the Doggerland, that area is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
So that's deeper than the ocean?
It's deeper than the North Sea by quite a distance, aye?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because like Slim said, there's Doggerland was there, and the sea flooded across the land, so the actual land mass is quite high, relatively speaking, compared with...
That's right. Most of it's only about 230 feet deep.
Yeah. And so that's why the sea is notoriously rough, because it's so shallow and it can't dispel as it would in a deeper body of water.
The Great Glen itself, that is a geological crack running right through the middle of Scotland, which basically splits Scotland in two, north and south. The rock is different north and south of it. So the geology has created a situation where it has a vast volume of water, 7.5 cubic kilometres of water, right?
Yeah.
That large marine mammals could easily live in. There is a situation where at one point these could have swam up and down for the sea. It's still the case that seals swim into it and swim about to this very day.
So the first thing then that you think is a possibility is that it's somewhere that is large, saying a mammal or a large fish of that size.
Yeah, it certainly could have been the original. Now, there have been repeated sightings of something over the years, but just like the White Witch or the White Ghost or the White Lady, these things have a tendency to linger far longer than the sighting did.
Yeah, they do.
Folklore's like that. The whispers carry on forever. And Chinese whispers always add a little. The truth doesn't make a great story, you know what I mean?
No, but they are really, really important, though, these myths, because, like I say, they're part of our cultural inheritance. So, I can literally trace the myth of my town, the symbol of my town. It goes right back to the Anglo-Saxons. It's then picked up again in the Middle Ages. So there's a medieval storm, thunderstorm, and a black dog, which is a manifestation of black shuck. And then we've got it still being used today in symbolism, in logo, all kinds.
Even the Hound of the Baskervilles was kind of loosely based on that story.
It is indeed, yeah.
Right. So these things, as I said, they linger, and
They do.
It's nice that they do linger.
It is, because it gives us a link to the past, and it is, like I say, it really is an inheritance, and we are the custodians of that inheritance, and it's up to us to pass it on. So I want my nieces and my nephew to learn about these things. I want them to go into my town and have a look at the castle and think, bloody hell, that was built in the 1160s and it's still here.
And there's ghosts walking about it late at night, jangling their chains and saying, "Ooh,
Well, there are a lot
ooh."
of stories around here, of course. But what I was going to say, because we should be speaking about Loch Ness, of course, is what it really is a geological wound, really, isn't it? It's just a huge, great crack and hole that has been torn out of the earth and filled
That's
with.
exactly what it is. It's a geological formation whereby the north and south are diverging slightly, and they are still moving. It is an active geological fault running right through Scotland.
Yeah.
The whole area in general is called the Great Glen.
So the volcanic area that was there, presumably they're all dormant now.
Well, Scotland itself is, or was, an active volcano zone that is amongst the oldest rock on the planet. The granite that sticks out the ground in Scotland is 400 million years old, and that's almost as old as the solid surface of the Earth. We have literally the oldest rock anywhere on the planet. And Scotland itself was a mountain range, which is now withered down to only 3,000 or 4,000 feet high. It used to be as big as the Alps.
So 430 million years ago.
Roughly, aye.
What was it like back then, trying to get that granite out? I'm joking, obviously.
I'm sure back then it wasn't granite. It was some sort of hot substance which bubbled about and slipped in it before it turned into a sort of a rolling countryside. But they're literally withered away about 20,000 feet. I reckon at one time they were as big as the Alps.
So today, is it like a valley, kind of like a V shape?
The Great Glen itself is relatively flat in places. Bear in mind that it covers the whole area, the whole length of Scotland. Right. And it goes from mostly farmland at one end and mostly farmland at the other to what looks like a glaciated valley in the middle.
Yeah.
But the depth, the loch itself is a relatively flat bottom.
Okay.
So it's like a great big bucket, in fact, that's 20 miles long.
Yeah.
That's why it contains so much water. The edges actually drop off at a dramatic angle. You take one step into the water and you're 30 feet of water.
So it's deep right around the edges for the whole.
Yeah.
So it's a dangerous place then.
Yeah, it can be. But for most of it, the built-up areas and the habitable areas tend to be rather smooth. For that reason, people go where there's fish and there's life. They don't go to the dead zones where it's just deep in the pikes around the edges.
Now, one question that I did have that you will know a lot better than I will is, what is the weather like in the area? I mean, does it, for example, like where I live is in a valley, so quite often we get lots of low mist that just sort of hangs on corners like a sort of prostitute made out of mist. I wondered if here gets mists and fogs and or wind effects or anything like that.
Absolutely. The whole area is Scotch mist, isn't it just a phrase for no reason?
Yeah.
The whole area is wet, dank and dreary. And in the winter, it is a desperately miserable looking place.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you will suffer from hypothermia really quickly. The large water volume also drags the temperatures down as it sucks the heat out of the atmosphere. So the whole of the Loch Ness and Great Glen area, amongst being the wettest places in Scotland, along with Glasgow, is cold, and the mist on any sunny day, any sunny morning, rises off the water, and it does create a rather, some say romantic, some say eerie, an atmosphere. There is also a kind of a wave that forms with the wind whistling through it, which people think looks like a serpent. And this could have added over the years to the monster. Yeah. There are other factors, and they filmed a movie there, And in fact, they filmed one of the Sherlock Holmes movies there.
Yeah.
And then when they were done with a 30-foot fiberglass prop, they dumped it in the water. And it's a prop of the Loch Ness Monster.
So there is really a monster in there after all.
Well, not anymore. They recovered it a few years back, fished it out of the water, and then somebody's got it on display in a museum.
Could have proved it once and for all then. But
No, they did see it on camera, and it made it onto the telly claiming to be the monster when it was the movie prop they were looking for. How's that for con work?
But I think it's fascinating, the idea about the weather there, because it can very much affect what people see. And I thought it was great that you mentioned about the serpent, because I've not heard that one before, and that does very much feature in a lot of mythology and a lot of folklore. And it definitely reminded me when you said about the sort of romantic idea of here, when that mist is there, there's a certain bridge where it literally goes like a sort of U-shaped dip, and it just sort of sits there hovering. And it looks, if you didn't know it would look quite eerie, but when you're used to it, it's something that I find it quite comforting. But I can quite imagine how if the wind picked up on that, it might give it a sort of a serpent-like look about it.
Absolutely. And if the water's calm and you get gusts, what you have is a flat, shiny, reflective surface with suddenly a small wave rolling across it on its own.
Yeah.
There is I can't tell you the name for it, but it has a name, a traditional name, this wave that forms in Loch Ness, and it's a well-known phenomenon.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is that our brain is wired to look for things that are a perceived threat. So we base everything on a pattern. So if we suddenly out the corner of our eye see something move, we instantly try and assign a pattern to what that movement actually is. And so we're trying constantly to think about what that will actually be and predict what it is. And sometimes that means we assign something wrong to something because that's the only sort of vocabulary that we have for it.
That's right. And if you think back, they were probably out there in small coracles and small canoes at one time, especially you're talking the 5th century.
Yeah.
It could be a dangerous situation. So these things develop names of their own. And this monster could simply have originated as a wave that would flit over your tiny wee coracle.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, there's all these things to bear in mind when you think back that far. It's a tenuous life.
This is what I think is fascinating about myths, is that you can track particular moments, often anyway, you can track particular moments when that myth takes on another trait or a character aspect or something along those lines. And so, yes, it makes absolutely perfect sense for people who were maybe 500, 1,000 years ago. They would perceive a danger as in a mythological beast rather than than we would interpret it today as something very, very different, because their language.
I've got an idea. Oh, sorry, mate. I literally thought you were just about to finish your sentence, and I keep talking over you. I'm waiting for you to jump through the telly and headbutt me. Like, stop jumping over my last sentence. I'm like, oh, misread it. What if? Right, I know it's like demographics or whatever. I don't know, but it could have been stuck there. It could have been the last of its kind. But when you look at Loch Ness and you think what it is, do you ever think to yourself, like, could it have been something like an anaconda? Would that be there? Would it survive there?
Well, in Scotland, I think you'll find that an anaconda is being a reptile. It's too cold for them almost every day of the year. Right. So they would survive for a very short time, but 2 or 3 days, and no. All the endothermic creatures don't survive in Scotland.
It could be
I did think that.
Or all the exothermic creatures, sorry. That's why we don't have any reptiles to speak of.
Yeah. It could be a catfish, though.
No, some big catfish, or in fact sturgeon, were known to exist. And the sturgeon can grow to massive sizes. But these things went extinct a long, long time ago. How long ago, I can't actually tell you, because it's been hundreds of years for a sturgeon was caught in Scotland.
What about sailfish? Anything along those lines? But would that be just too silver? You'd know.
Well, a sailfish, these things are tropical, but sturgeon do live in the cold water. And they are, in fact, in mainland Europe, still very common. and they are massive. Was a sturgeon can grow to 25 foot long.
Yeah.
It's a huge
Yep.
fish.
Yeah, and that was the question I was going to ask next, is that if there is some sort of large fish or large mammal in here, then it's obviously not one of them. There's obviously, it has to be a breeding population that can be sustained by the biological climate that's within that lake. So do you know if the lake could actually sustain a population like that?
Well, I can honestly say no, it can't. Loch Ness is relatively lifeless because of its formation. It's very deep in the middle,
Yeah.
deep and dark, meaning that there's no animal, no plant life. Basically, the edges are where the life is, and the entrance, where the Ness, the river Ness comes into it, there's a large char population, which is a small trout, a small dark trout. But that would be, for instance, a few dolphins could wipe them out in a couple of weeks.
Mm.
Now, there isn't really enough biological life to sustain anything bigger than, if it was, the seals would stay.
Yeah.
And they don't.
So it's not like the ocean then, it's the darkness of the lake.
Plesiosaur.
Yeah, but they kept saying it was a plesiosaur, but you know, see, over the hundreds of years, a creature like that isn't a gill breather, it's an air breather. It would have to stick its head out the water even if you think maximum half an hour. And that means every 30 minutes, a 40-foot creature would be bobbing up and having a look about.
Yeah.
Somebody would see it every other day. No, once every couple of 100 years.
But could it be, though, that maybe there are certain ones that grow larger than other ones?
Ones such as a plesiosaur?
No, I mean like any fish or large beastie within the lake. Could it simply be that perhaps sometimes there are extremely large, rare ones, and people see those?
It could be, but the odds are against it. There's been a lot of sonar surveys and a lot of work done with marine cameras and submarines and such like, and they've not detected anything. None of them have detected any large forms of life. And as you said, if there was one, there would have to be more because they would have to breed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That means there'd be at least two at any given moment.
Yeah.
And if there were only two, they would go extinct because they would grow old and die. So that means there has to be 2.4.
Yeah. Anyone.
And someone would see them.
Yes.
Especially if you're talking about something 40 feet long.
So my next question was to you, Slim, is going to be this one. We talked about St. Columba, I think it was, back in the 6th century. Is there a tradition of seeing beasts in the loch that exists between that point and the 20th century?
Yes, there is, and I can list almost every one of them, if you like.
Yes, please do.
I'll give you by name. D. Mackenzie, 1871 or 2, October 1871. D. Mackenzie reportedly saw an object resembling a log or an upturned boat wriggling.
Yeah.
Alexander MacDonald, 1888. He sighted a large stubby-legged animal surfacing from the loch and propelling itself within 50 yards of the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Aldy Mackay, 1933. Best known article, first attracted great deal of attention about the creature, was published on the 2nd of May 1933 in the Inverness Courier about a large beast or whale-like fish.
Mm-hmm.
The article by Alex Campbell, water bailiff for Loch Ness and part-time journalist, discussing a sighting by Aldy Mackay of an enormous creature with the body of a whale rolling in the water in the loch. Well, she and her husband John were driving on the A82 on the 15th of April 1933 the word monster was reportedly applied for the first time.
Now, that is what I think is really interesting there, because what I think is notable is none of those sightings are before the 19th century.
But since the St. Columba one in 565, you're correct. They were all relatively recent. So we went like 1,000 years or so.
Exactly it. So as a literary and cultural historian, I would be thinking, right, so you've got a gap of 1,000 years here. So what's happened? And the first thing I would want to think is, and I'm sure both of you chaps will be able to work these out, is I would think to myself, right, well, if it's coming out in the 19th century, what contextual factors were there that would have brought that myth out into, or bring it up back into existence again? And I think
invention of the the invention of the TV. I want to get on.
Well, that is important, yes, but that wasn't what I was thinking, though.
There are various factors involved. Tourism could be one of them, in fact.
Yeah, that is, in fact, that was exactly my first one, is that I think it coincides with both in the 19th century and then again in the 30s with roadworks being done that improved access to the loch. And the fact that for me...
I was going to say marketing. God's sake, tourism, shabby tourism.
Because then advertising and marketing then becomes a feedback loop. People, they see it, they think they see it because they're there, it continues.
And
let me interrupt to say,
sorry,
sorry, Slim. I just want to quickly jump in and say thanks to Ollie the Greenwick for gifting 5 memberships. I really appreciate it. And also P. James, what do we call you? Do you call you James or PJ? PJ sounds cool. PJ gifted 5 Wizard Word memberships. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it. Then Ollie jumped in with 200 joules, but we don't know what they do. But she got sunshine for that. But thank you very much for supporting the channel, guys. I really appreciate it. And Slim, was it you talking? You may continue.
Yeah, I was saying that Jake is correct. And up until the start of the 20th century, road access to most of Scotland was non-existent.
So in the 19th century, they built a road system, I believe, maybe a rail system as well that helped to get up there. But in the 30s, my understanding is that either they built a new road or they extended the road that was currently there. And that coincides roughly with the time when you get the first big article in 1933.
Well, most of that area was in fact footpath rather than even cart track.
Yeah.
So it would be pack mules and pack horses if you had to take things overland.
Now
but most of it was serviced through the river system from the Ness itself, the River Ness.
So what we've got then is somewhere that was virtually inaccessible to most people, that now suddenly you can just drive straight out into this wild land with very wet, very sort of drab, huge, great lake that suddenly becomes a tourist attraction.
And people that live in cities are not used to seeing lakes and rivers and such like, and everything's alien to them, right?
I think that is very true, yeah, absolutely. In the same way that when I go to a city, it feels very alien to me.
Now, if you're a seaman, for instance, living a life in the ocean waves, things like a squall, they're something you just accept, right? A great big wave coming towards you and you hang on to something. But if you're a land lover and you see that, you're like, oh no, what's that?
Yeah.
Right.
What I think is another factor that brings up why it came about in the 19th century is because I think it coincides roughly with the period of Darwinism and the discovery of dinosaur bones. And so that area of sort of paleontology was very much a new science. And I think that the idea of like the dinosaur origin probably comes from that. And that then built up over the sort of period of, I don't know, 75 years or so until we get to the actual monster of 1933.
Well, that was the first time it was described as a monster, right? Prior to that, people just didn't know what it was. I mean, they did actually describe it as an upturned boat, which it could have been, or a tree, which it could have been.
It could be. Well,
Now, these were far more reasonable. You've got to say, I know that these things, and you need to remember in the past that, which might seem a bit abstract at the moment, bread had a problem causing people to have hallucinations.
yeah,
And people ate their daily bread.
they did.
So there was often the case that it's called ergot. There's a mold that grows on wheat.
Yeah, there is. I know what that.
And they call it ergot, and it causes hallucinations. And it has caused mass hallucinations and in fact killed hundreds of people at one time on occasion.
There's a story of a town in France where the entire town would suddenly turn into sort of zombies, and they believe
right.
it had to do with ergot. It's in fact where LSD was first discovered was
That's right.
It's related to that.
It's a little black mold that grows on wheat in damp conditions.
Yeah, but don't let a piece of bread go mouldy and then think you get high off it, because it'll just make you ill. Not that I've tried.
Seriously, apparently it's one of the reasons that oats were grown in Scotland, because of the damp conditions. And it could have been that ergot attacked most of the wheat crops at that time period.
Exactly. And this is why I think when you look at myths, it's very important to look at the context, because quite often the context influences the story that's around. And so if people are, for example, suffering from ergot poisoning, or maybe there's some sort of something goes wrong with a rye crop or something like that, perhaps they were seeing things, or perhaps they thought they were seeing things amongst the mists that were in front of them, which they would perhaps have perceived as being of a supernatural origin.
Absolutely. And it's not actually a lot. It's half a dozen viewings in about 1,000 years, you know what I mean? It's not unreasonable to think that it could have been a cheese dream, for instance.
Yeah.
Right. But
these myths, they also give a sense of grounding in place. And very important to the myths as well, because this myth isn't really about a monster, it's about the loch itself, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and let's face it, something that big and that deep and that wide, it does inspire a little bit of fear in people, even without a monster.
Of course it does.
Right. And if you're out there on a windy day, it's a deadly place to be.
Yeah.
With a 20-mile distance to build up waves, you can end up with huge waves forming in it, which would pitch you off in a small boat.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get waves in it. It's not like it wouldn't just be flat all the time. It'd be freezing cold, so if you fell in, you've got seconds until you get hypothermia.
That's right, cold shock would get you.
Yeah. So it's a very wild, very sparse population that's there, but then you get access to it, and with access comes the tourism. So then you start getting things like the souvenir shops that bring more people in. And like I say, people then, once they start looking out over the lake, they're not looking for anything, but anything that they see will then get interpreted as being the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, there is in fact now a Loch Ness exhibition centre with some nice displays and information on Nessie and such items. Several sections. You're told about the geological forces that formed Loch Ness. Then you learn about Scottish folklore and the history that gave birth to the legend of the beast.
Yeah.
Then the third section is set in Drumnadrochit, the hotel itself. In the bar, you get this in the bar, and it takes you through the history of the monster hunters, all those that have scarpered up there to see it, spend their research grants frivolously, you know.
Yeah.
You then enter a large chamber which gives you the impression of plunging into the depths of Loch Ness. In this section, the presentation explains how Loch Ness has strange underwater currents, and it goes into detail about the underwater research that is going on in the Loch.
So it's a genuinely unusual geological location, which all adds to
It's quite unique, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And that's why I say the geography of myths is really, really important. because once you get there, you're already arriving in a history that's been written. And I find the most fascinating thing isn't whether or not something is true or whether it's false. It's the fact that it actually exists and the fact that it still exists. And I'd just like to know about why these things are there. And one thing I did wonder is, in this sort of literary and cultural gap of 1,000 years of no Nessie, were there or are there stories from the sort of highland peoples that had water beasts or anything similar to that?
There really isn't, no. Most of the Scottish folklore is based on things like fairies.
Yeah.
Now, fairies are diverse. They're not the wee cute things that people think they were.
No.
They're more the sort of Grimm's fairy tale fairies.
Yeah, they're horrible buggers.
They're horrible. Right? Now, fairies are now imagined as Tinkerbell, whereas fairies were what we would call demons.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Right, in old lore. They were to be feared.
They were. And they're also, another name for them was a fae as well. So the fae, yeah. So that was the Middle English name for a fairy. But they were certainly not what we would think of them today. I think that image comes from, I would imagine, probably the Cottingley fairies that Conan Doyle took pictures of in the 20s. Most people have probably seen that famous picture of the cardboard fairies. And then probably Disney or something like that with the remainder of it.
Well, my great-grandmother had a scrapbook. You know, scrapbooks used to be popular.
Yeah.
And we seen those pictures. And you know, my sister, she had inherited this scrapbook from my great-grandmother. And she had the self-same fairy in the scraps. You get fairy scraps.
Wow.
And she had that full collection of fairies. I think she's still got it in a scrapbook.
Keep hold of it.
Oh, it's my sister's now. I don't think she would give it up. It'll be lying in her loft somewhere. But as children, we seen that on the TV in black and white. And we were like pointing the finger and saying, we've seen that actual thing. And my sister had it in her scrapbook. And it was the exact same image. The exact same fairy that was photographed by these ladies in the garden.
Yeah.
So we knew it was fake for its first image.
It was,
and still its credibility went on for decades.
It did. In fact, I don't think it was until it was either the 70s or the 80s when it was finally debunked officially.
But they admitted it latterly.
Yeah, they did admit it, yeah. And they did just cut it out from something. I don't know what it was, some wallpaper or something like that. So.
Well, it was these scraps that you got for scrapbooks. You bought them out of the post office, the local post office, and then you could mount them in your books looking over your pages. They were commercial items. I know that because my sister has them.
Yeah. So it must have been quite a rare one then, because otherwise people would have spotted it sooner, I would imagine.
Well, it was probably about 110, 115 years old then.
Yeah, you've got to hang on to that because, like I say, it doesn't matter whether or not fairies are real. The fact that you've got a book that has that in it, that in itself, that it becomes a relic.
But these things are relics now, like the old tea cards. When you bought a packet of tea in the past, and you're talking about 100 years ago as well, you got a tea card in it, which was a sailing ship or a view, or this was one of the oldest methods of advertising. You bought a packet of tea, you opened it up, there was an advert on the back of it, and on the front of it, there was a small scrap that you could collect in a book, which had an image of perhaps a sailing ship, as I said, or a view for some mountain in Scotland that you would never get to see, or a horse and cart in London. You know, something glorious that people would love. But cigarettes also had these things.
They did.
And it was common at that time for people selling a thing to make their USP, the cards that they gave out. And there was great effort put into the creation of these things. And the scraps were the same. They were very commercial at one time. And if you had produced the best ones, people would buy your the products. If you're buying tea for people, the tea's all relatively similar. Yeah. But if you get nice things, Like, I know it's hard for people to talk about now. Robertson's jam.
Ah, yes, with the gollywog.
My sister also, she had one of those that she got for Robertson's jam. Oh, we had to wait for the labels, and my sister collected the labels, and then we sent away to Robertson's jam, and she got that doll. She loved that doll.
Well, there was a story.
Absolutely loved it, and I think she still has that.
Well, there was a story a couple of years ago that was from around here, where a couple moved here from London, and the people next door to them apparently were making racist remarks to them by putting gollywogs in the window. But in fact, it was a collection that she'd built up over years. And so the couple from London accused them of racism and then ended up moving out. Ridiculous.
Well, a lot of poor kids, this is where things get so... I know that some people are easily offended, but see, for a lot of poor kids, that was the one item that they actually had as a toy quite often. Because they couldn't afford to buy them. And people forget that we weren't always living lavish lifestyles.
Yeah, and it wasn't a symbol that people would laugh and snigger at. It was a good symbol. We were proud of that.
Right.
They were welcome.
That's right. And young ladies all over the country, it might have been their most prized possession.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but
it's kind of nice, isn't it?
You are right, though, about people forget in the days of the abundance that we have today. We like to complain and say we've got nothing. But you look at the toys, for example, that kids have today compared with what people would have had 100 years ago. And we really haven't got much we can complain about in that regard. We've so far advanced from that. But what I was going to say is you touched on a really important word, which was commercialism. And I think another factor that really helped with this story is that it became a media story. So it then became something separate from the loch itself, and it took on a new life within tabloid newspapers, which obviously are there to sell and for entertainment.
Absolutely. I mean, people come from all over the world to see it now. And if you've ever been there at Castle Urquhart, which has a dungeon, it has a real life dungeon.
Yeah.
As a bit of a skeptic, you know what I mean? I went to see the castle.
Yeah.
And I did notice that certain tourists spent a lot of time looking over the water. And I was looking at the tourists, looking at the water. Yes, I was looking at them looking out. And they were looking at the water intently in the hope that they would see the Loch Ness monster. So it is an attraction. Now, some of these tourists are Japanese. They come all the way from Japan and they're at Urquhart Castle looking at the water like this.
But that's what's fascinating, though, is that you can actually go and, like you say, you can watch what they're doing. It's almost like you would have in a book. We'd call it metafiction, when it becomes aware of itself, of being a work of fiction. Here, you're aware that this is a tourist attraction because you're watching tourists being attracted to it, but yet you're aware that it's actually a far bigger picture than that. And you've got places like Urquhart Castle that have obviously its own history that go with it too. Is it actually
ancient?
Is it worth visiting?
Certainly the whole area is worth visiting if you're a tourist type. But you have to be a certain type to appreciate it. There really isn't much to see in Urquhart Castle. Now, some people will tell you, and if you watch Trainspotting, they'll tell you, Scotland's shite.
Yeah, they did say that, yeah.
Right? To some degree, it is. It's cold, and it's wet, and it's windy. And see, mid-December, you would rather be anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world, but in the Glens of Scotland.
Beautiful, isn't it?
You spend your whole time saying, oh man, it's freezing, it's wet, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And Trainspotting was right. But if you're interested in a lot of historical references and such like, we do have a lot. We've got a lot of old castles dotted about the place. Some of them are immaculate. Yeah. Some of them are the most perfectly preserved castles in all of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is absolutely beautiful up there. And it's somewhere that I would like to visit one day, and because it kind of reminds me in a way, it looks a bit like New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Not
It's shorter. It's shorter. I don't think we have the altitude.
but no, a bit like a mini version of it, but it's certainly got some qualities that it has there. And it's just the open countryside is something that it's a very different landscape than we have anywhere else in Britain, I think.
It's got, as I said, it's got a lot if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it really actually does have a lot of interests to be seen and views. If you like a bit of scenery and landscape, we've got hundreds of the islands, like the Isle of Skye. It's an absolutely amazing sight to see in the summer.
Which is the island where
not in the winter.
Orwell stayed?
Sorry?
Which was the island that George Orwell stayed on?
Jura.
Yeah, because that's got the whirlpool, hasn't it?
It has a tidal whirlpool, it has, yeah. At certain points of the year, spring tides cause it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story.
That I found fascinating. So
Well,
please.
let me tell you a story. As a young man, the company I worked for had a ship, a sailing ship called the Merlin of Clyde. And I was lucky enough to go on a sailing trip on this thing for a week or so. And we went to Jura. And I visited, and it was 1984. I can tell you that for a fact.
What a coincidence.
And we went to Jura, and I actually stood in Orwell's garden.
Wow.
And at the bottom of his garden, I seen a chunk of rusty metal sticking out the grass. And me being interested in it, I recognised what this was right away. And I walked down and had a poke at it. Now, it's been pretty much stripped to death. But I seen the last signs of a motorcycle frame sticking out the ground. The peat has grown over it, and it will still be there to this day because nobody touches it. It's immaculate, the house. Nobody would. And there's very few people ever go to Jura.
Yeah.
So Orwell's house actually had the motorbike he took, still sitting at the bottom of the garden, which is basically a rusted relic now. But I was there in 1984.
Wow. And that does sound like somewhere worth visiting.
Well, you need to get a ferry in, and it's quite a long ferry.
Yeah. And watch out for the whirlpool as well.
Well, I think you'd be lucky to see it, to be honest. It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. No, it's more of an optical thing, really, isn't it, than anything dangerous?
Well, I think if you were in a small boat, it would be dangerous, but it only happens at very specific times of the year when the spring tides are high.
Yeah.
The spring tides being the highest tides, the highest to lowest drop to one to another, you know.
Yeah, again, I find these things fascinating. Like, there's a lake, I forget what it's called. It's in Northern Ireland, and every so often it drains. So it's like the lake disappears and then it comes back again. You can imagine why somewhere like that would build up as a myth.
Well, that's one of the things that's created things like the bogwood you get in Ireland. It's a very rare. It's oak that gets stuck in a bog, and because the water floods it, it doesn't rot, and you get this black oak, bog oak. They actually call it bog oak, and you can dig out a bit of oak that's 2,500–3,000 years old, and it's been preserved in the bog. And it's these very situations, that yearly flooding cycle, that causes it and creates the peat that preserves it.
No, it's fantastic, isn't it, how all these things fit together, and how over time we get to understand how things work, and how with things like peat, how it's just things from a long time ago compressed together, but yet it's still useful to us today, like myths. What do you think of it all, Wiz, this Loch Ness monster?
It's all crap.
You think it's all crap?
Yep.
You got no credence for it whatsoever?
No, because everything you see, it's like, there's no real proof until, say, we invent, I don't know, a camera to take a photo.
No, it's never going to be any real proof because it doesn't exist.
In that
exactly
case, what would satisfy you as proof? Because this is a question I think often we don't ask enough.
Do you know what? I would not settle for a photograph or a video in today's climate because it can be faked.
Okay, let's
But
just pause there for a second. Just for a second, because you said something really important there. You said in today's climate. And I think
yeah,
that if you go back in time, the most famous picture of the Loch Ness Monster, of course, was a fake. But what you're getting at now is that, yes, back then people did fake things, but it wasn't, it was much easier to get away with a fake then and for
yeah,
people to expose in a way.
it
But
was
now,
unexpected back then. You wouldn't expect someone to fake something back then, so they would take it as gospel of what they're being told or what they
yeah,
see.
because it's in a newspaper, so it must be true. They can't
Yeah,
print
and
it.
people aren't dishonest.
No. Whereas today, you're quite right. You've got images everywhere where we can no longer tell what is real or what isn't real. I saw on Casper site, there's a great alien video of Skinny Bob and some really good pictures of like a sort of tic-tac style UFO outside of a plane that looks very, very convincing. The alien stuff doesn't, because I think that's bollocks. But again, just because it looks real doesn't mean that it is real.
No, yeah. I mean, even back then, if they film like the cameras are crap, so you know it's like today. Oh, you just happen to get the only ever UFO or alien sighting of him walking down the road, but you filmed it on a potato when
Well,
everything's like 13 megapixels, super clear. And oh look, and it's a blurred picture.
that's what I wondered about this Skinny Bob thing is you get a couple of clear images and then the camera suddenly moves or something like this. It's always a really shit angle and a shit video quality. And this is the same thing I have with the UAP discovery, that they only ever put out really shit blurry things that you don't really can't tell what it is.
Exactly. So yeah, so like I would not accept a photograph or a camera, or sorry, a video in any shape or context. I don't care what they say. Oh, we zoom in, do this, do that. Yeah, good. I don't know your skills to do whatever. So the only thing that would convince me now, which would have already happened, because if it was a Loch Ness and it died, it would at some point come to the surface or get washed up, and you'd have a physical body. That's what I'd want to see.
Yeah. So you do want to see actual physical evidence like bones or fossil even.
Yep.
Okay, so video
Yep.
footage not going to be enough for you.
No, same with extraterrestrials or UFOs or whatever. Has the US UFO crashed? Is it there? Can we go and see it? Yes. Well, I'm going. If
It,
not, don't, I just happened to get this picture. No, you never. You made it up. Go away. I want physical, like the body of an alien.
so because it's such an extraordinary claim, then you expect extraordinary evidence to support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
Now,
but you know, it's like you saying, "Oh, I went fishing and I caught a 99-pound carp." Did you? Where's the photo? That
yeah.
with you in it, someone taking it, weighing it. I'd believe that. But if you just said it, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, did you?" But you know, like, no offense, but I'll take that with a pinch of salt because you haven't proven it.
But if we were to follow your logical argument there, that people are inclined, oh, very nice, to forge things, then there have been stories in the past where people have fabricated evidence of bodies of things, like when
Yeah.
they discovered platypus, they thought that that was two things stuck together. So there is a possibility of that fakery could be there, but you're saying that would be more convincing though than any image you could possibly see.
Yeah, and then over time, science will turn around and say, "We've done a DNA test. It is not," and then that's it, done and dusted.
They did do a DNA test,
On
which I
what?
mentioned earlier. They tested the water, I believe, to see what DNA they could detect in there to work out what sort of population could exist in the lake. And I don't think it said there was anything of that size could possibly live in that that
That's
ecosystem.
right.
Yeah, I think even Electrodoc said in there, like, how many fish do you need? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of stuff nowadays. I mean, come on. I mean, I think like 60, 70 people. It's not like today where the first thing you think of is people are dishonest. It wasn't like that back then. People were well spoken. They were brought up with respect. There
Yeah.
wasn't all what you see now. Literally, you used to leave your front door open and go downtown for like 7 years. Come back, no one's walked in your house.
I
It's the
love
way
hear
it
people
was.
say that, and I'm going to tell you why. People had nothing to steal. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
Zero.
true. Yeah.
True. Well, I just
Well,
want to couple of things in the chat. Firstly, Trig, you're not going to catch me out with that question. You know very well I already believe in the existence of God, so I don't need any proof for it. But secondly, Mad Monkey Seeds has said that there's latest research that says that it can hold life. So I don't know. It's not. I'm not a marine biologist.
Think the thing, if we're talking about Loch Ness itself, it is relatively barren for its size because of its depth.
Yeah.
It is really only a very small margin around the edges that hold life. And by that I mean plant life.
A bit
So
like us.
without that plant life, there is nothing, no ecosystem to support a bigger creature. It has, despite its vast size, the amount of sort of, for the ground, if you're talking about the plankton up,
Yeah.
that ecosystem is really small.
So there's not of the volume of life in there for something larger to be able to sustain itself.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I've worked out Loch Ness all on my own just by Googling it.
Go
I
on.
thought, he said, does like about Loch Ness holding large life. Then it's what Slim mentioned earlier, like 23 miles from Inverness to whatever, second largest Scottish loch, freshwater, 22 square miles, blah, 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 blah. Life in Loch Ness, right? Bearing in mind what we see in the photos and that, the loch's cold, deep, and nutrient-rich waters support a diverse ecosystem. Atlantic salmon, Arctic char, brown trout, European eels.
Ah, yes. Eels can get very big. And eels breed in the Sargasso Sea as well. So they migrate over to the Caribbean and spawn, and then they manage to swim all the way back to, like you say, from places like Loch Ness to the fens and the Broads of Norfolk.
Our eels only grow to about 5 feet long in the longest.
Yeah, they're not.
But they're
big,
saying here trout and salmon can exceed 1 meter in length and 14 kilos in weight. So, you know, you get a man who's suddenly the tallest man in the world. That's not the size of all of us. So surely there's a possibility that you get an eel and he's like, yeah, well, I'm twice as big as you lot. I'm a bit of a freak of nature. And they just happen to have swim and someone's took a photo going, whoa, it's a monster lord.
We said before, isn't it, that maybe there's a couple of freaky eels or something like that that have grown twice the size. That would make perfect sense, that people see that and they would interpret it in a different way.
Let's be honest, folks.
Well,
it's a possibility, isn't it? And it's a genuine possibility. It's not something you're going, no, definitely not.
Possible, but I honestly consider that kind of famous image of the Loch Ness Monster as somebody that's floated something out there and made it up. It's a construct.
Yeah, it is.
And hoaxes are one of the things that are a kind of, if you like, a united front all over the world, whether it's the Yeti, whether it's the Thunderhawk, all of it. I mean, Skinwalker Ranch, people are always going on about Skinwalker Ranch. There's no evidence of anything happening there. It's all hype.
Skinwalker Ranch is a fucking TV show. That says everything.
That is now, that's it, right.
It's a reality show. They've got to make things happen on it.
Well, they make things happen, but Shite Clear actually said, that's it. That's the famous image.
The surgeons.
Yeah. What about this then?
Yeah, that one looks more realistic. I reckon.
But if you look, there is a square portion at the back, right?
Yeah, there is.
See that square portion? That is a float.
Yeah. Because like
That's
you said
someone's arm.
before, what you can't see from the picture is any sense of scale. So that could be 1 inch tall, it could be 1 meter tall. You've got no idea from that.
Well, I would suggest that by looking at those waves that you do get a certain sense of scale, and that is not a big thing. If you look at those waves, those waves look relatively large next to that, especially when you look at the ripples being given off by it. So it in itself is probably a very small item and quite close
Yeah,
up.
you can see the back a bit better there on the.
How do you know it's at Loch Ness as well?
You don't. You
You
simply
can't
don't.
picture. But
It
this
could
is
be in any body of water on the whole planet.
this is what I find fascinating is we all know that this has been outed as a hoax, but it doesn't matter because even if it isn't real, it actually is real as a cultural symbol, as we can see from the images underneath the photo there. Everyone knows the Loch Ness Monster. So what would interest me here then, as from if I was studying it, is I would want to know what happened
purpose.
between the 6th and the 19th century, and so how did this image come back again? Because it can't just be Darwinism and the discovery of dinosaurs. There must be other things, unless it's a case of people started seeing it in the 19th century and they were just seeing things like boats, etc. But over time and retelling, with each retelling, it became something else. That is also another way that stories come into being.
These things come into being at some point, and then people take advantage of them later on.
Well,
The tourist industry has certainly taken advantage of it for decades, right?
Yeah. Well, that I've never seen.
Yeah, that's it. We've been debunked. It seems it was true after all.
But to be perfectly honest, if you were there and you saw at a distance something like a seal or a dolphin, you wouldn't know what it was from a distance. The first thing you would think is, I've just seen the Loch Ness Monster, because that's where you are.
Well, if you never spent any time around the water or the ocean, of course, it'd just be a complete mystery to you.
Yeah.
And seals are big.
They're very big.
Right? People don't appreciate, they see sea lions sometimes at the zoo and such like, but they tend to have smaller species in the zoos because they're easier to keep. They don't have these 15-foot long things that weigh a ton and a half, which are totally unmanageable.
Yeah, we get seals up on the North Norfolk coast around here.
Harbour seals are quite big. I mean, they're only about 10 foot long. Average.
Do they have things like otters as well at Loch Ness?
Yeah.
They do. Because that
again, really quite common there.
Right.
But sadly, mink have become a bigger problem, and it's caused an otter problem, because a lot of the eggs and such like the otters used to harvest around the shores are now being harvested by mink, which were escaped mink farms.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get rid of the mink.
We had that problem here.
It's a common problem.
When I was a kid, just outside my town, there was a sanctuary for otters where they were trying to build up a community, and they managed to breed up enough that they released them all into the wild, and there's now a stable population. So that's a really good thing. That's why I just wondered about otters, because somebody who saw an otter swimming at a distance, again, you're not going to know what it is.
That's right. There are other wildlife creatures that have been extinguished for their experience in Scotland along England. The beaver, for instance, which has been reintroduced, and I've not told you where.
The pine marten.
Well, we still have pine martens in Scotland. I've seen them. I mean, they might be quite rare, but you actually get to see them if you drive about the country. You're driving through forested areas, you see them crossing the roads, so they're not as rare as they used to be.
You've also got red squirrels.
No, we've now got grey squirrels, because the red squirrels attack or the red squirrels. The red squirrels aren't very tough. But
there's one thing that Scotland is famous for that I would love to see in the wild, and that is the golden eagle.
They're also very, very rare.
Yes. very rare, rarer each year now.
Gold, isn't it? It's because they're
Yeah.
gold, you know.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
People steal the
do you
eggs.
know-
That's actually been a larger part of the problem, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible.
these bloody things alone. That's an awesome bird of prey. I like them and peregrine falcons, but let's not got no birds. I'll be here all day.
Them round here.
10 sightings in 2026 at Loch Ness, and we've still got 5 months to go, and that's how many total in 2025.
Is there a pattern, for example, like what month they're in or anything like that?
I guarantee you it's in the summer months when the tourists are hanging about.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it probably starts about April, maybe.
The power of suggestions and amazing things, though, it is.
It would be interesting to see whether or not the numbers drop off in the winter season.
Well, I can assure you the numbers of MD up there drops off in the winter season. As I said, that is a grim area in the bad weather.
Yeah.
Grim.
And
It's like, in Dad's army where Fraser's always gone, it's a wild, barren. that pretty much describes the whole of the north of Scotland in the winter.
Well, what I think, you touched on this as well earlier, is what I think people don't understand about places like that or places like rural Suffolk is that when you say the next town, you sometimes might mean several miles away and there's just literally nothing in between. And I think people that live in cities and have always lived in cities don't really appreciate the space that we get in the countryside. It's a very, very different way of life.
Well, even today in the north of Scotland, in certain areas, Mallaig, heading out to Mallaig and such like, you need to be careful, especially in a motorcycle, that you've actually got enough fuel to make it to the next big city.
Yeah.
Because there aren't any real habitations of any size in between. For instance, Inverness and Mallaig, and that joint is 110 miles.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure you've got enough fuel to cover that distance and hope that the petrol station's open when you get there. Or, as happened when I was a young lad, you're sleeping next to a motorbike waiting for the petrol station to open on Monday morning. Because they still have the wee free in a lot of these areas. You know, the Scottish Presbyterian Church.
Yeah.
They don't open on a Sunday.
Now, in that part of Scotland, is the culture...
I've got the sightings here, Jake.
Oh, excellent. What does it say then, Wiz?
March the 1st,
There
March
we go.
the 5th,
Yeah.
April the 21st, April the 23rd, 25th, May, June, July.
Funny that, isn't it?
They sound shit.
Funny that,
Like-
when it gets warm.
Yeah, American tourist, forget it all that. Look.
The American
Dark
tourist,
greenish
Japanese-
grey rise out the water. Dark shape via Clansman Hotel webcam. Observing a white fin-like shape.
Right.
Large shape crest the water and an S-shaped wake. Well, I'm so bloody convinced.
Yeah.
Ollie Palmer described an object. Well, trying to look that up.
Imagine that.
Dark
Someone-
object.
They're all the way
Greenish mass.
there to see Loch Ness, and just imagine that they just managed to do it. The chances of that are just staggering.
What the actual?
It's almost
can't
as
be
if
the
People that want a thing, I mean, it makes a great holiday story. We've seen that, but you only have to say you've seen it. You don't even. It's like that wave that forms.
yeah.
Now people see that wave and it curls over. It's not very big, but it does look like a serpent. So they can say they've seen this, and in their imagination, and in the Chinese whispers of the stories retelling, it grows every retelling, and suddenly it's the Loch Ness monster. We've seen it out there in the water. It was big and it was wriggling in the water. You couldn't really see it, but we've seen the wake and the waves it was creating. Oh, it was amazing. So it was. We're going to go back and see it again next year.
So it's not a wee beastie then.
Oh no. And see, the next time you tell a story, it is even bigger.
Yeah.
and you might have been able to see a fin sticking out the water.
Ah, right. See, now we're getting to where the stories come from.
And then
Its neck came out of the water, did it? Did it bit your head off? Oh, it's frozen.
What?
The Slim froze then.
He seems all right now. I'm
He's
trying to
all
look
right.
at.
Can we have a look at a video of the Loch Ness monster?
I played one earlier. It was crap.
Was that it?
I would try the
So whatever
old,
the hell.
the old
That was a
Sherlock
recent
Holmes
one.
movie
I'm like,
if you want
oh.
to see a picture of it.
So where
But
the bloody hell?
If it's real, I mean, I obviously part of me would like it to be real, just because it's an interesting story. But it really doesn't matter for me if it is or not. It's the whole creation of the
Mate,
myth.
oh,
Well, that's what people
fucking
love about
mate.
myths, isn't it? The fact that they are myths.
Yeah.
And they grow from something, from a small story, from a small idea, and from something small.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Holly Palmer. I looked it up to find the photo. I found the photo, and like I put in April 25th, 2023, 2 o'clock. Holly Palmer from Worcestershire, accompanied by someone as well. She's with someone, ladies and gents. Bear
There's
that in mind,
two of-
right? The photograph was submitted to the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register.
Okay. So it's legit then.
This is weird though, because it says date and time, like 2023, and now it's saying it's added to the 2026 total. Oh, that's
Hang on.
stupid. It was like,
There's an important announcement I think we should make here. Helen went across the loch, did some sonar. There was nothing there. So we've got official information from the chat that there is fuck all in Loch Ness.
I'm zooming in on this photo because it's circled. Right.
That's my
I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in more once I brought it up on stage, ladies and gents. But this is what, right? The fact that people do this, I'm like, are you for real?
I'm looking forward to this.
Mate, I tell you, I am seriously, after all that effort trying to find the bloody thing, I feel violated. I feel insulted. But this is apparently Loch Ness, and she's like, yeah, I photographed the Loch Ness, me.
Okay.
Did you, love? Did you? What the actual? What the crap?
That's just a picture of some water.
Holly Palmer
Zoom
says,
in.
look at the bottom. Holly Palmer says this is undoubtedly a photo of Loch Ness Monster.
The resemblance is
I
uncanny.
have to agree that, mate, I'll give you uncanny. What
Uncanny.
the hell is that? What is
It's
that?
That is undoubtedly the finest.
Look, you can see my cursor, right? I'm circling my cursor, right? If I go over here, look, I'm circling someone else there. What's that? Oh, is that Loch
Two
Ness,
of them.
mate?
It's two shits.
What's this? Look, what's this? Look,
There's
on the left. See
one.
I'm circling it. Bottom
There's a
left.
big round
Look, there's
thing
another
as well.
one.
What's
Mate,
this big red
this
thing?
is why bloody stories end up being like absolutely mocked to
Red thing,
death.
that's an alien.
Because that is pathetic. That could be absolutely anything. Someone literally could have put their bum out the air and farted for all we know.
What I don't
that?
understand
What
is
the hell?
how did she manage to spot this monster and yet fail to spot the red egg that's in the middle of the screen? Didn't mention
so
that.
Obvious. Look at the size of it. It's Loch Ness. He's got shades on. Detail is just amazing.
Well, I'm convinced.
I'm really pissed off with this.
I'm convinced.
I never looked it up now.
Have we got any other highly convincing images that we could analyse?
Mate, if anything that's going to wind me up that much, give me another heart attack. That is absolute. I'll tell you, Holly Palmer, wherever you are, you're a fucking
You were
idiot.
having a fucking laugh. You're having a laugh, Holly Palmer.
You're an insult. I mean, what is that?
It's
Right,
undoubtedly.
what else we got up here? No one else has took a photo, but they've seen something. Oh, hello. Someone. Oh, no. I don't know if I'm going to do that. The 9-year-old took the photo. Is it even worth looking up? Oh,
It
it's
might.
in Inverness. Let's have a look. Oh, please. Oh, please be something because she's 9. She's 9. Remember, she's 9.
Yeah. Well, I don't. It's pretty clear to me that this is undoubtedly the Loch Ness monster. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
Well, just to put it in perspective, if that's the best picture they've taken in the last 100 years,
Well, it's better than anything that you've taken, young man.
you know,
Right.
The skeptic.
I know I should probably be trying to sell it for all the tourists in the world, but let's face it.
Remember,
Jake's
this
right.
was a
It's
9-year-old.
the myth that matters. It's not the reality that matters.
Yeah, it is the right. Oh, is that? What is that?
It's better than the last one, but apparently that discolour there is probably the head of a monster.
Oh,
but
I
on
see.
here,
I see now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
can you see it?
I can see
It's
it
better
now.
than the last
That's absolutely
But
something.
what about this
I
one?
can
This
see
is
this.
actually in the archives as well. Look, 2 bits of log floating by.
2 logs.
What the hell is that?
2
Mate,
logs.
I feel insulted by these people. I don't know if there are any other photos on this. There's loads of adverts.
Oh, it's a nice pair
That's
of
a
boots.
better view, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's much better.
There's 2 humps in the water. Oh,
Yeah.
there's another 2.
Yes, don't mind a bit of that. Yes, certainly would.
Mature women in your area. I get a lot of the adverts.
There we go. That's Loch Ness. That's Loch Ness.
Oh,
Don't
that
tell me
is
it's anything
pretty cool.
else.
No, that is
Loch Ness. What the actual? Right, let me see. Anyone else here? Webcam at 3:26. No, that's the same report. Oh my, they're trying to palm me off. 2 sightings, it's the same report, mate.
Holly bloody Palmer and her fake pictures.
Mate, that was an insult. The 9-year-old, I'm glad, was better. At least it looked like some sort of weird, you get that pareidolia, whatever it is going on.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing, isn't it? When you're there and you think you see it, then that is what you will see. But this is far more convincing, this picture here. I definitely would say that is a Loch Ness monster.
Surprising nobody noticed that turret sticking out the water over the years, isn't it?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? He's not going to get far in all that mud.
I mean, canals are about 4 foot deep.
So we are in agreement then that it is bullshit, are we?
Yeah, I'm going to see if...
And as for Bigfoot, that's just absolute bollocks. We spent 30 seconds on it and that's enough.
Don't tell me that was his flipping sighting as well. It's gone to the same report. What on earth? You're palming me off. That's 3 different reports, same flipping...
It's because it's such an iconic image. It defines the zeitgeist of Nessie sightings for the next 12 months.
Oh, Edinburgh Live. Here we go.
This is how a thing persists, despite the lack of any evidence or any sort of reality.
Yeah.
The myth itself and the telling of the tales are the monster. The monster doesn't have to exist. It's just a story that exists.
Exactly. The monster is the least important part of the story. And that
in fact, it's just an inconvenience to the story, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is actually an inconvenience to it, yes. It's exactly the same thing that you get with, as I've been writing about, with the Rendlesham Forest incident. It's not, people focus on what they think what was seen, but that isn't what's interesting about it. What's interesting about it is how people behaved to what they saw.
Right.
Webcam.
Get ready for this bloody thing.
From
You
Ian
will
O'Fay.
pee now. Yeah. Got the photo. Owen, I assume, notched up multiple entries in the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register.
This should be good.
You really want to see it?
Yeah, of course.
I don't want no crap saying it's not. Like, oh, it's a shadow. It's this. It's just shut up. It's Loch Ness, right?
Yeah, I'm ready for this. I can handle it. That does look like it. Right. I mean, it's a bit blurry.
Let's face it, Owen Harrigan's up absolutely at it.
I mean,
What is that?
what actually is that a picture of? There's a bit of green.
Anyone's guess.
I don't know what that is. It could be a cat's eye for all I know from this distance.
Imagine saying I've got a picture of a monster and pushing that forward. People must have been laughing at him.
Oh, he's got
There's one long hump and a small. No, there wasn't.
one long hump. Yeah, I could see it.
There he is.
The
Uncle
one
Fester
was that happening on the shores of the loch.
Well done.
I would not be putting my photo to that picture.
Oh, is he saying on there that he's got a webcam that is permanently on to film it?
It's filmed on a toaster. Yes, I'm glad someone else noticed.
Is that what he was doing then? He's got it on 24 hours a day.
And that's the best he had.
No.
That is the best he could come up with. This indistinct picture of a black squiggle on a bit of grey with a tiny...
That could be something in the sky and it's reflected onto it and it's made a shadow.
Could be anything.
Jesus
It really
Christ.
could be anything.
Who knows? Is it Hitler's moustache? Is it a merkin?
That submarine was more interesting. I don't know what
Well-
it was though, Electric Doc. I ain't got a clue. It might be AI. I don't know. But it was more interesting than what the hell is that?
Yes.
If I painted that as Loch Ness, I would get laughed out of the artist's arena.
Yeah.
People do it to sell a paper, but sell a story, get some clicks.
That's what it's
Clicks
really...
matter.
That is what
Dundee
it's
United 1, Rangers 0. Oh, very nice. Right, I need to ask you guys. Next Friday, what road are we going down? Should we do a poll, or are you just gonna shout it out, or what? Because
Maybe we should have
Bigfoot
suggestions for the chat.
Let's see.
That's what
the
I'm saying. Like they can jump in like next week because there's quite a lot out there in the world of myths, conspiracies, aliens, and God knows what. So crop circles that PJ said. I could do a poll.
If anyone who's in the chat knows a lot about a particular, haha, that's very funny, Grace. Very funny. She's put Bigfoot.
We've done Bigfoot. There's bugger all, mate.
We've already done it.
Well,
But
I got an article up here with from Bob, and I'm reading it. But he found a body and it was decaying. I'm like, oh wow, is that it? But this is the main bit there. That's all you need to know. It's been debunked. If I take my mouse off it.
Yeah, and there's fuck all in that. But if there are people who are in the chat who want to obviously come up and tell us their expertise, or they wanted to talk about something, then please do that as well. More than welcome.
Yeah, Slim, I was going to say, it's up to you on this sort of thing, and it's your idea. So if you want to come up on any Friday, or want to come up on every Friday with Jake and I, as standard, you are more than welcome.
If you pick up a subject, I'll research on it so that I'm at least able to talk on it, because I wouldn't like to show up and know nothing about a thing.
Have you got time to do it though, Slim?
Well, most every other second week, definitely. Luckily tonight, I've been left alone here to get on with it.
Why don't we go for that then? Do it every second, 2 a month.
Well, I'm happy to be contributing, but I would like to know what we're going to be doing, so that way I can look into it and get some information available that makes the show a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And obviously-
informational rather than just me winging it on the moment.
Yes.
yeah. I'll get it up early, and then obviously, the title's going to have it because I think the pictures I've got for it, I'm like doing that, and there's lightning, and I've got an alien, and I think a UFO in the picture because it looks quite cool. But
Well, as we're doing
do the
myths,
same.
legends, and other things, we've got the whole of human history to Bigfoot, so we'll never run short of ideas.
No, we won't.
Nope. We could do it every 2 weeks, so not next week, but the week after, and that give us time to look at stuff and all that as well. Because I'd like to look up. I didn't this week because Loch Ness and Bigfoot go straight over my head. I think they're just crap, and there's some things I don't want to learn because I feel there's no point because it's crap. If that makes
Well,
sense.
I wrote a
It's
short,
interesting.
and I was going to send it to read out, but I thought there's no point. It's far too wordy. People won't want to be interested in that. So we've all done our bit, I think. But who do we want to look at next time?
Right, well, Welch.
Crap researchers.
I,
Right, in the chat, what do you want? The Shroud of Turin winds me right up. People think that's from Jesus. I could not, could people be that stupid? It winds me up rotten. Winds me up rotten. Ancient bit of artwork. Oh no, Jesus went through that. No, he bloody. Oh, mate, really?
well, it does have some peculiar qualities about it, though. Like, for example,
No, it
people didn't
doesn't.
there until they saw it through a negative.
Yeah.
It's
I
still-
was doing a video, right? I'm not lying here, right? I asked my missus, but she said no. But I was going to wear some like Speedos or something, and then I was going to buy a long cloth. I was going to paint myself, completely paint myself. Then I was going to lay down, and then she was going to pull it up over my feet, and then over my head, and then push it down on my body, and see the impression that it left, and it'd be exactly the same as that one because
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's just
the
art.
Shroud of Portsmouth.
Yeah, they reckon Jesus is going to go through a piece of cloth and leave all the details of his hair and his eyes and his fingers.
He
No,
might have
it
done.
wouldn't, would it?
We don't
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
like an X-ray, mate.
I
I
think
tell you, people.
whatever it is, again, I think it doesn't matter if it's Jesus or not. What I think is important is that it's a relic that has a history and it has a myth that's associated with it. But at the same time, it is quite mysterious and unique because we don't know how they got that image on there. And so it's going to keep that mystery to it, regardless of who it actually is.
Do you reckon they could have burnt a body and then pushed it down on it?
I don't know. I read one theory where someone said that it could have been caused by a sudden burst of radiation, like gamma rays or something like that.
Yeah,
There's a
electrocution.
lot of strange anomalies with the Shroud.
Yeah, I know it bugs me, but it's they've done tests on it. They proved that obviously the material was too late, and then they wanted to twist it and go, "Oh yeah, but it could be." No, you just done tests and said it. It's like it's too late.
Even that's been contested because the material itself was of the style of the period, but the genetic material they're taking off it was taken around the corners where it was manhandled and touched by hundreds of people. So it could be the genetic material and the proteins, such like the fats for people manhandling it. And they're actually right in that. I mean, it could be as old as they say it is.
So
I don't know.
What about aliens next time?
Everybody loves aliens.
Yeah.
Especially if anybody has an alien to bring into the conversation, I would love it if they done so. I would really. I've got coffee and biscuits waiting for an alien if he wants to show up.
Yeah. If you've got,
I've been doing that for the last 50 years for Santa Claus. He's a muppet, mate. He'll never turn up. I'm insulted.
Well, let's see.
Thanks to Santa Claus, so rude and not even turning up. I've had to buy the presents every year for the family and pretend it's bloody Christmas, Father Christmas.
What?
Trying to make him look good and cover his ass, mate.
What are you talking about?
Isn't it?
Father Christmas is real. And you try and tell lies like that.
But yeah, but if you think that Shroud of Turin is actually Jesus going through the, get your head read. No, we'll do that one day, but no, not at the moment. It winds me up that this sort of crap. It's up there like Loch Ness and Bigfoot trying to blag us, and it's, to be honest, I find it more of an insult to Christianity and to Jesus himself that you'd think that. Like you're going to make Christianity look weaker by
Well, it
trying to
comes
claim
to-
that
where-
cloth.
If you're talking about such as the holy relics, they're also great for the religious tourism industry.
Yeah. There was one.
I mean, fantastic.
I can't remember exactly when it was, but during the medieval period, there was something like about 20 or 25 different foreskins of Christ in different churches.
You know, there was chunks of the cross in every church in the world at one point.
Yeah.
A man of
That's
many
what makes it
prophets.
hard to believe that any of these relics are actually from the people that
Yeah.
they're supposed to be.
There's one of these stories in the Canterbury Tales is about a person who does that. It's called the Pardoner's Tale. And he gets these fake and tries to pass them off as real and this sort of thing. So it's nothing new. We've on for generations.
Triggered. The Shroud of Turin is not evidence; it's bollocks.
Like it's evidence of something. But what
It's
is
just
evidence?
so,
I don't know.
isn't it? Like we want something to back it up. Oh, by the way, Jesus is like a tea bag, mate, and he went through, and the flavour flooded out. Look at it.
Makes the flavour flood out.
I mean, is there any other like? Oh, no, there's nothing like it. Okay, then. Well, there you go.
There are, in
And
fact,
it
a
looks
couple
like
of these
artwork.
shrouds in different churches around the world.
If you were wrapped in that and went through it, what's the chance of every single one of your hairs, every single finger in detail? It just wouldn't happen. It would be like a blob.
Of course it would.
Like a ghost went through it, wouldn't it? But no, we got the nose. We got the
It's the
cheek,
Son of
got the
God.
mouth.
It's not a
Well,
normal.
this is one of the things that the faithful believe actually say that are the reason that it must be real, because it is so complete. Now, complete, remember that it can only be seen in certain lights, under certain spectrums, when an ultraviolet light and some other photographic equipment, because if you just looked upon it in broad daylight, there's nothing to see, literally nothing.
That's what's fascinating about it. How did they manage to do that sort of photographic technique at a time when we didn't understand?
Well, from someone that doesn't know how they done it, they lived in a time period, or the later dating lived in a time period where Da Vinci and such like were around, and the handcrafts were at their absolute peak.
Yes. Which is
Da Vinci himself was one of the greatest, if not the greatest painter of all time, and he lived in the period that was supposedly, if you believe the people that say it's a fake, was created.
And I have to say that I once went to see his Last Supper painting, and it is stunning. It really is stunning.
Absolutely. And
Because
Da Vinci himself worked for the family that actually owned that early on.
Yeah, really.
So they were of a level that they could afford to employ these people. So that means they could employ the very best artists, craftsmen in the planet.
Yeah. And
so it does cast a lot of doubt on its authenticity.
No, but those are the people that create civilizations that last and that live on and that we can still see today. So you can see all of that stuff if you go to Florence. You can see the Medici Palace and all that sort of thing. And it is wonderful to see. And it does have in there a ceiling painted by Da Vinci. Fantastic. But these are things that we need to preserve because, as we have been seeing recently, with all these invaders coming in, they are going to trash that shit. And I'm not
happy. Sad if they do.
They will. They'll knock it down and build a mosque on it, and I'm not having it.
Well, I'll tell you what is funny. Way, I'm sure they would.
Yes.
Right. Shroud of Turin, right? Gravity obviously didn't exist in the day with Jesus. Because if you were wearing a hood, how would it stay up if you're laying down? That'd just slide straight off, and the left and right would be sagging.
But
what is that?
That's supposed to be his hair.
That's what I want to know. How did it get onto that cloth? That's the mystery.
But look at the arms. He looks like he's like dressed for war. Look at the arms and that. He's wearing stuff.
Hasn't he got his arms like this?
Well, apparently, but he's got an arm going down there. Then he's got his hands here under where it says
Oh,
Gitty.
like that, I see. He's got them down here over his knob.
That's not a particularly good image of it.
No,
I mean,
I've got another one here.
It's quite clearly, looking at the style of art there, very much of the sort of medieval,
The Renaissance period.
Oh,
it
by the way,
like a Knight Templar image.
look at the size of this geezer's fingers. Oh, bugger off. What are you doing?
But it does have blood on it, though, as well, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I can see the blood, mate, yeah.
No, there are blood stains on there.
Oh, mate. So this is like...
There are
Amazon.
remnants of bloodstains on
Oh.
it, but they say it's been so degraded over the years that they couldn't test it because the shroud was damaged and then actually washed several times.
Yeah, it was a fire.
It's been washed.
Yeah,
Somebody stuck it in a washing machine sort of thing at one point and just cleaned it.
I think they did a test of one bit, and they dated it incorrectly because it's been repaired.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
There are portions of the shroud that actually they've detected fats and oils for contact,
Yeah,
and it was displayed every year. And because these bits were tattered, that's the bit that they took the samples from. But these sampled areas have been in contact with human hands every year for about the last 100 years. So any testing done on it's really invalid, you know what I mean, on these areas. And that's one of the things that's cast the testing into doubt.
Size of
This
his
is the
fingers.
thing. I'm a person that likes to know things, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's books or shrouds or aliens, I like to figure out or find out
yeah.
what's true. And it's very difficult to find out what's true about these things.
Well, Slim,
And I wouldn't discredit a thing just because I don't know.
if that is indeed the case, then I can assure you, very much like my book, which I've been writing, which is in fact all about how we find out what we know is true from evidence that's in front of us. Unfortunately, I haven't finished it yet. It will be some time till I have. But that is exactly the route I went down, is how do we know what we know?
Knowing what we know is a hard thing to know, even when we think we know.
Yeah.
I got something that could debunk this.
And that's called
Evidence.
Right, look at that picture, right? You're telling me Jesus passed through that and left it, right? And there's his little thing at the bottom with his silly long fingers, which are a bit
There's no
weird.
suggestion that he actually passed through it. Was let me knock that in the head. I've said that a few times. There is no suggestion or evidence that he passed through it. It was supposedly
But that's
a
why they
shroud
say
that
it left
was
the
wrapped
imprint.
around him.
no. He's
As
not,
he was
that-
resurrected, he's gone through it. That's what they
Yeah.
said.
He's not just down at the bottom. It's got the reverse of him above it. 'Cause
Exactly.
that is going
So he
on
didn't go through it unless he went through front and back. Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh,
Is it not
missus.
possible that they then took it off him?
But how on earth, right? If you covered me with this, how on earth did you get all my fingers? My eyes, my nose, my moustache. You wouldn't, because it'd go over your nose and your nose holds it up. Unless you're going to
What
push
talking
it down.
about?
But it would be pressed down around you.
And-
You know what I mean?
And if you lifted it up, it wouldn't look normal because it'd all be
And
distorted.
let's face it, see if it was Jesus that was wrapped up in that sheet of fabric, there would be hundreds of people wanting to make contact with the body, so it would be pressed in almost every inch of it.
Yeah, I'll be rubbing
The-
myself on it, mate.
The faithful would be queuing up miles,
And don't
miles they'd be queuing up to make contact with a relic like that if they could.
And I think the most important thing that you're forgetting here, Wiz, God did it. He can do anything.
Yeah, but like Meatloaf said, God can do anything, but he can't do that.
He did. Did it? He nearly did that.
Tut, tut, tut.
There is no way. Like, look at it though. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, how on earth? Like, you would not get on that because to wrap someone in it and leave their imprint on it, when you unwrapped it, it wouldn't look right because it'll all be distorted because you folded it. And as you open it, like when you do that butterfly and open it, and go, oh, butterfly.
Yeah. In fact, I would
just-
change what I said before. I wouldn't say that looked like a Renaissance picture. That looks more like about sort of 12th or 13th century, around the time of the Crusades. That sort of the art
That's
style.
when someone put it to, and to me that looks like a
No,
soldier.
it's hard to say, but I possibly.
I reckon that hung loosely over a pole, so when you looked at it, it'd be the front, and as you walk past it and look round, you'd see the back to make it the image that there was a soldier there.
Oh, Helen has just put in the chat what I said before about radiation. But the Bible says the women saw a massive flash of light as he was resurrected. They think that was some sort of radioactive or X-ray type thing.
Well, just to juxtapose that, it does state otherwise in the Bible that nobody actually seen the resurrection. So you don't know which account of the resurrection is true. It does mention that, I can't remember the chapter and verse, but it does mention that people found the tomb empty and there was no mention of them actually seeing anything happening. So there are several accounts and none of them tie up with each other. Which one you're supposed to believe, I don't know.
Which again is something that comes back to where we're talking about things that are mythology. This is an example when you're talking about a theological text. You're talking about a mythology that's got an authority behind it. So it's if
you're talking about items like this, that was big business at one time, let alone anything else. I'm sure people paid huge sums of money to be blessed in its presence, to make physical contact with it. And the church has done very, very well at that one relic for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
There you go, Jake. 12,
Now, these things, you need to remember these things when you're talking about dealing with these items, whether it be any of the relics or reliquaries that are held in the Vatican and other places. And to this day, there are a lot of the faithful that would pay big money just to come in contact with a saint's remains, or to get a finger, for instance, which used to be a popular item.
Very much so.
So
I think
it was and still is big business.
It absolutely is, and that's the right period that I mentioned there. 1260 to 1390, and it's more the style of the image that made me think of that than anything else, because it very much looks like, if you see images from that time, like of Charlemagne or something like that, they tend to have that. They look very much like that image of Jesus that's there. I mean, obviously, the fact that Jesus is from the Middle East and would have looked nothing like that is neither here nor there. He can look however he likes when he resurrects himself.
Yep.
The classical image of Jesus on the cross was Cesare Borgia.
Really?
Yeah, he paid for and basically posed for. That's the vanity of these people was incredible, right? Now, Cesare Borgia paid for that Christ on the cross image that is hanging in every Catholic church in the world now.
Yeah.
And that was him. It's his face. And you can look it up for yourself.
They had a life-size one in the graveyard at the Catholic school I went to as a primary school.
That's right.
With the blood and everything. It scared the fucking shit out of me every day.
But it was him that ordered it, that paid for it, that posed for it, and he wanted it in his image.
Yeah.
So everybody prays to Cesare Borgia every day.
But that makes him eternal.
That's right.
Which
surely,
that's
what everybody wants.
What a lot of my doctorate is about, really, to be honest with you. It's about how people create images for eternity and what those images mean to particular people at a particular time and how that can change.
Well, his images are going on now for all the years and will probably go on into eternity.
Yeah.
or the artwork's done of that cross image.
Well, I think it would be interesting.
And you can look it up. I mean, I've not just come up with it. There's somebody often accuses me of just saying a thing and they've got to believe it because I've said it when they don't want to do their own research.
Yeah.
But in this case, I'm quite happy for them to fact check me and come up with any old nonsense that they want to throw at me.
No, it's always important to do research, always important, and to make sure that you do quality research and not just rely on the first thing that comes up in the search engine.
But don't you just take memes from Facebook and push that forward as fact?
Yeah.
Yep.
And believe that it is fact.
That's what Muslims do.
There's no only Muslims that do it. The problem with researching a thing is sometimes you can research a thing for years only to realise you don't actually know anything about it still.
Yes, so having that with my book.
Well, that's not uncommon.
Oh, I'm not really. I'm finding it more the case of what to leave out is the difficult bit.
It can be so much, and you wonder how much it's actually real.
Yeah. But again, it doesn't really matter if something is real. If it's culturally real, then you can say that it exists. It's important to that culture at that time, in that.
Right.
And that aspect of place is really, really important in myth, and I think gets forgotten sometimes.
Well, this is what actually creates myth, isn't it?
So,
the retelling.
Like we said with Loch Ness, the environment itself lends itself to mythology. The same with Suffolk, with the valleys and the low mist and all of the Gothic ruins. It just lends itself to somewhere that would have a story associated with a mysterious area. And when you've got a mysterious area that's got in it top secret research centres and nuclear weapons based there, then of course you're going to get fantastical stories.
No, traditionally it'd be bogland and marsh, you know what I mean? And people did disappear in it. Splash, and they were gone forever.
Yeah, and there are lots of stories about that round here where people get led by will-o'-the-wisp and that sort of thing. And Black Shuck, you would lead people out into the fens to get drowned.
No people go out there to catch pike.
But I think that considering this is the first ever Freaky Friday, I think it's been quite freaky.
Ooh.
Not too freaky. I don't want to put anyone, just a little bit freaky. It's on the side of freakiness.
Well, I think we've managed to cover quite a few details. I know Bigfoot was kind of skirted over, and somebody in the chat's quite upset that we didn't really go into Bigfoot as deeply as we could have. And they're right, there is a lot. If you wanted to look into it, there's a lot. But as I pointed out, I said I would cover Loch Ness, and I did.
Yeah. Fair dues.
I think it's not as important to us as British people, is it, really? It's not a myth that resonates with us, whereas Loch Ness does. It's one of our myths. Yeah. And everyone in the world knows the Loch Ness Monster myth.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly. It's an incredible thing that it's travelled so far and so wide for so long.
Yeah. And this is why I keep saying that cultural inheritance is so important, because it defines who we are. These stories that we inherit become the people that we actually are. And it's why it's so important that we retain them and hang on to them, and that we follow the motto of my hometown, which is, let us forever hold fast to the old virtues.
Yep. Triggered, I could actually tell you that. I could actually answer that for you, but I'm not going to do it now. But I could actually answer it for you. So what are we going to do next time? What are we doing in 2 weeks' time? What's it going to be? Are we dead set on, like, literally on aliens or on UFOs or extraterrestrials, because they don't like being called aliens? ETs,
I'm happy to go along with whatever you or someone else picks, and I'll just research it between here and then.
I haven't, to be honest. When I've been writing my book, I've completely ignored the alien aspect of it. So I've just focused on UFOs. So I can definitely talk about that.
Right.
And
I'll
some
tell you what I'll do.
skins.
I'll put a poll up. I'll put a poll up on my
poll?
YouTube on the posts. Yeah,
A
a
poll?
poll.
Flagpole.
Who is it? Robert
And
Lewandowski.
we're not going to dance or nothing. So we'll put extraterrestrials. Like that's the actual life.
Yeah,
UFOs because they're separate.
yeah.
There's Bigfoot. What else? Any other myths, conspiracies, or I think I can put
Millions of them.
yeah. Bigfoot. What else?
There's assassinations is a good one to look at. With things like JFK, RFK, Trump, Anne Widdecombe,
The Mothman.
the Mothman. I'm keen on that story myself, but
There are so many of these stories.
yeah,
The chupacabra.
I,
This is one of the reasons I did suggest this as a subject, because there is an endless reserve of things to choose for.
yeah, there is. And if you go on the place Avalon Library, you can get loads and loads of stuff on all these type of topics, straight from the source. But with literal declassified documents and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Right. I'll put like ETs,
I'll make a
UFOs,
note of
Bigfoot,
that.
and assassinations. There'll be the 4 choices, and if one comes second but only just, then maybe we could store that, obviously, because that would be popular. So we could do that the time after that. So
Yeah. So the conclusion
I shall
is
write it down with my pen.
that Bigfoot is bullshit. Loch Ness Monster, bullshit.
yeah, let me have a look. Where are we? We're not in July. It'll be in August. It will be. What's today? Friday. So it'll be Friday the 14th.
Yeah,
Well, next week, I'm on my own, so it would be better if you done one next week and started it fortnightly from there.
I can do that.
Because I do actually have the wee man with me this week. He's out there playing with a computer.
Right, yeah, okay. So, ladies and gents, forget what I said about not next week. We'll have one next week on the 7th, and then obviously the one after that will be on the 21st. So we'll do it.
Thanks, Wiz. I appreciate it.
Oh, Grace is...
It's not a problem. I'm in this mess because of you, Slim. I ain't letting you off.
What am I like?
No, I think so.
Me and my great ideas.
I think it is a good idea because it's things that people are interested in, and it's just a different way of talking about it.
Yep, definitely.
I would like to pipe up here and say that it would be nice if other people from the audience, from the chat, could come in and give a verbal opinion.
Yeah,
and I know it isn't keen on people coming up blind, but you don't really have to show your face.
No, you don't. No. And no
You can talk and use your voice without showing your face. I know I show my face, but I only show my face because it's not worth ignoring.
but don't be afraid of coming up on the stage, though. It's a bit daunting the first time you do it, but when you're actually up here, it doesn't feel like you're talking to loads of people. It just feels like you're talking to whoever's on the stage.
Yeah, you're just looking at 2 or 3 people, so it's all good. So keep an eye out for the poll, ladies and gents. It's going to go up. You get to choose ETs, UFOs, Bigfoot, or assassinations. It won't come across. You have to read it properly. So yes, that's happy days. That's brilliant. That was yeah. Grace told you. It's not bullshit. Your researchers. It's going to be an option, and we will do Bigfoot in the future properly. We won't be so flippant. So don't worry, Grace. We will be on it.
She did put a laughing face on it, to be fair.
Yeah, I got size 12, so you know. If you saw Bigfoot and he was with Mrs. or a child, would you say, "Oh, look, there's big feet"?
No, we've got the perfect solution. Grace can do the research, do a presentation on it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That is a fantastic. I think that's the best idea I've ever heard.
Tell us all about Bigfoot. Yeah. Put us in our place.
That will be saving grace.
Be amazing, Grace.
But yeah,
But it's been a
shoot us
pleasure,
all.
and I'll be happy to come back. But like I says, I would prefer some sort of heads up on what I know you have done it, so that I can look into it and get a bit of background, so that I'm not sitting here just mumbling and wasting your time.
Yeah.
No, it was good.
If you can, will you be able to email me? Because then I can actually email you when the results are in. I can let you know as soon as possible on the poll.
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah. I am the Wizard's Words UK at gmail.com. Anyone can email me, you know what I mean?
Let me write it down.
I would say thank you very
The
much to
Wizard's
both of you.
Words
It
UK.
has been a pleasure to be here this evening and talk about something different that isn't political. So thank you for that, Wiz. Thanks for Slim for the idea, and thanks to all of the chat for all of the grief that you've been giving us all evening. It's always a pleasure to see you all.
Yeah, and check out the poll for next week's.
Yeah,
we got
Are
one
there
next
any
week.
capitals or anything involved in your email address?
No, I mean I capitalised the and wizards and words just so I see the what it is, but no, just the Wizards Words UK at gmail.com. All flat,
Okay.
it's all good. Yeah, email me, and then I'll do the poll for over maybe just a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and then I'll get hold of you and let you know as soon as. And same with Jake.
Yeah, no problem.
Happy days. And then we can research. Okay, happy days. We are done.
Thank you very much, chaps. It's been a pleasure. See you next time.
As always, mate.
Thank
Take
you.
it easy. See you Sunday.
And
1
thank
o'clock.
everyone in the chat also.
It's been a pleasure, Slim. It's nice to have you back on screen.
It'll happen again. You take care, sir.
Yeah, you too, mate. I'll see you next week. Happy days. There we go, ladies and gents. That's brilliant. Slim and Jake, so they didn't have to listen to me so much. So that's why I sort of like I'll step back and let them talk, and that it's a break for my voice, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to put a poll up, ladies and gents, in the community post thing, and we'll see what we're doing next week, and then we'll do the 7th, and then it'll be the 21st after that for the next one. We'll do it every 2 weeks, a Freaky Friday. So any ideas that you want to do, if you answer the poll. And if there is anything else that we haven't thought of and I can put in the poll for next time, or something you want to talk about, like the Shroud of Turin and whatnot, or Bigfoot again, then, we can put that back in the poll. So let me know in the comments of the poll what to include. Because we're building it around you guys. I know there's loads of stuff you want to talk about. So it's all good. We will get to it. We'll do it all. Boat UAPs. Happy days, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. Huge thanks to the Green Witch for gifting 5 Wizards Words memberships, and PJ for his generosity with 5 Wizards Words memberships. And then Ollie, these dual things are strange. And then I didn't even see that. Southside, too bad. Every little helps. Straight into the YouTube fund. Support the channel. Oh, happy days. Give it up for Southside. Southside. I could write a song about that, but I'm not going to because it'll bore you. But yeah, that's the plan. So there will be Freaky Friday next Friday at 7 p.m, ladies and gents. But we're back Sunday, 1 p.m. Is Jesus Muslim or a Jew? You can call in. You can jump in the chat. That's what we're discussing Sunday. So get the notification bell on. It's already up, waiting for you. Happy days. So thank you to every single one of you. Have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend. Live the dream. Stay sound. Keep donating super chats. There's no message to read out. So sad. A survivor in the bin. Thank you very much. Happy days. Having the weekend off. No, you're going to have to call in if you think Jesus is a Christian or a Jew. I know it's not your cup of tea, is it? I expect. So you have to be in the chat. But someone else will have to call in. Otherwise, it's all going to be me, innit? But yeah, whatever you think it may be. Trigger Christian. Could be one for you to call in, mate. Could be one for you. Is Jesus a Christian or a Jew? But yeah, we'll be going through that. It's going to be interesting. So I'll see you Sunday. Take it easy. Oh, yeah. And like I say, at the end of every single live stream, that is the Wizard's Words.